I've been I feel like I've made a commitment to be on social media, but it blows to get like 4 or 5 views, you know, like 100 views. Like when I used to get 100 views, I'm like, dude, I hit it. I went
You got a
viral.
home run. That's your viral moment.
That was my viral moment. But you don't see the results in clients.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law. So Joe, before we introduce our two guests we have in studio today, can you tell our audience how we got started?
Yeah, so it first started out as a Facebook group page. Purpose was to bring businesses together into a group setting to just kind of communicate, talk, ask questions, share tips, mentor one another. Because we're a marketing agency, we get asked a lot of questions outside of just marketing. So selfishly, we wanted to find a platform where we can bring different guest speakers on to talk about all topics relevant to being a business.
Awesome. So our two guests today, gentlemen, will you please take turns and introduce yourself to our audience, please? Mr. Moose.
Yeah, my name is Moose Math. I sell traditional real estate. Been doing it almost 21 years. Work with John L. Scott Real Estate. And probably the last almost 10 years now, I've been doing a lot of investing in real estate.
Okay.
Which is great from, a lot of buying and holding.
Okay.
And some flips here and there. But
All right.
but normally my day-to-day job is as a traditional real estate agent.
All right.
Helping buyers and sellers.
Nice.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'm Keith Akada, born and raised here in Seattle. I'm a mortgage broker. This is my 26th year, so pretty much finance has been my entire career. I'm riding off the coattails of a lot of what Moose and his network I've learned from, so it's always a learning curve, but
Right.
passionate about real estate.
All right.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the podcast. So this is our day drinking episode, guys. So
Okay.
I made the drinks in advance to be a little more efficient of our time. So today we have a cocktail called a Clover Club, which is part gin, fresh squeezed lemon juice, raspberry syrup, and an egg white. So you have mixed without ice first to kind of emulsify the ingredients, and then add ice to chill. And you have the end effect pouring into a coupe glass, except I forgot to bring one for me, is the nice frothy effect similar to, like, if you guys remember Orange Julius,
Yeah.
that kind of consistency. And then garnished with some fresh raspberries. So cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
All right.
Kanpai in Japanese.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cheers.
My wife is jealous.
So on the tart
Well, that's pretty
side,
good.
Wow.
I like it.
but most people, they don't like gin because of the taste. So this kind of masks it. So you kind of feel the tartness, and on a nice, beautiful, sunny day, hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, there you go.
This is too easy to drink.
Yeah.
All right, so how we like to get to know our guests. So there will be a series of questions we want to ask you. So we'll ask you first. So what, for both of you, what are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur? So when you first started in the business, is there something that you learned that really helped you, or maybe the opposite, a mistake you learned, like, won't do that again? Tell us early in your entrepreneurial careers something that you learned.
I think the biggest mistake I made was think I knew too much. And as soon as you ask the question, it's vivid. I gave advice to a client, and then the following year, come tax time, I got a call from a CPA. And the CPA said, why did you advise, in that call, my client being his client,
Right.
to structure their refinance like this? And I didn't have an answer. I knew right away who it was, and he basically said, this is terrible advice. And then he said, what made you give them advice? I said, being very honest, the client told me to do it, so I did it. And it was at that moment he knew I was green, and then he took me to school. And I appreciated that he did that, but that was a very harsh moment where I was
Right.
like, wow, I thought I knew something and I didn't know it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
But you did what the client asked you to do, so that was like the client isn't always right moment.
It was, but in the moment, looking back, I was still giving advice from
Yeah.
that and thinking I was correct.
Yeah.
But the whole time for that next year, I was wrong. So yeah, I
A
was
sobering moment, definitely. Then
yes,
yeah.
sobering, very
I
sobering.
mean, we're drinking right now, so pardon the pun. So, pardon the pun for the nothing against the dry January people,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So, Moose, same question. What's an early lesson learned in your young entrepreneurial life?
I wish I learned how to probably take, really getting serious about creating my database faster.
Okay.
Using a CRM versus trying to jump around and see what the best CRM is, and just something that was consistent, actually working the database, which is a really big deal because I think once I got help to really figure that out, and then finding a system to love on my database, then it really propelled my business
So
significantly.
what are some ways that you love on your database? So for like other real estate agents that are listening that are like, maybe, I don't know how many houses you do in a year, but you've been doing it for 20 years, so you're probably good at what you do. But so for a new person who's maybe been in real estate for a year, how do they love on their database?
I don't know if I'm good at what I do, but I enjoy what I do. And I would say my experiences for a lot of new agents, if you're just asking if you're a new agent and you're listening and you're watching, I would tell you to spend time learning your scripts and learning what to ask, how to ask, because a lot of times the consumer is driving the conversation.
Right.
And I always go back and say, if you go to a doctor's office or an attorney's office, who's asking all the questions?
Yeah.
And so if you know what to ask, then you're always in control of the conversation, and you know where to lead your clients, and you know what their motivation is. And I find that a lot of new agents don't want to spend the time to learn how to be the doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So
I call the doctor of real estate.
Yeah.
Right. They rather just be they rather spend time buddy selling. I'm the nicest person.
Right.
They want a buddy sell versus skill sell.
Right.
Okay. So what's been your guys' 20 plus both years, what's the best piece of advice you've been given?
I think that's a very good question. How about you? You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Moose, we'll have you go first this time. So
there's so many, you always keep learning. And I see people over the years when they first start, they're so hungry and they want to keep having a lot of personal growth and so forth. And it's like a lot, when I look at people, is a lot of people, who knows when they're going to peak. Mm-hmm. And peak means like, they might peak in high school, they might peak in college, they might peak. But a lot of people, they get into personal growth and then they peak and then they stop. And they stop the personal growth, So a lot of times, they'll peak, they'll level off, and they'll stop wanting more and stop wanting to learn. And so
baseline almost, right?
And so what happened, and the biggest growth is, you gotta you constantly want to keep learning, and not, you want to fail, and then you want to go back and find your next peak, and then find your next peak. And I find a lot of people over the 20 years, they get to a point and they stop wanting to peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to follow Moose's lead there. It's definitely learning. I would say learning, adapting, but the trap that I fell into is I'd learn and I'd sit on the information and I wouldn't execute. Mm-hmm. That's always been like a cycle for me where I take all this information in. It's a bunch of great ideas, but it never came to execution. Right. So that's been more intentional and more focused now is to learn, but then you have to adapt and execute.
Right.
Yeah, that's been key.
And I would say this, bro, and I think this is the person who executes the fastest makes the most money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Failing or not, you're gonna learn. At least they're taking a lot of massive action. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, people are not taking enough action, because especially in today's world, when you can get so much information whenever or wherever you want, but then will they take the action? And a lot of people are not taking action. But I also learned that everything is a learned skill. Mm-hmm. So how fast do you want to learn a skill, and how fast do you want to execute? And so, that's also a personality type also.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite question: why is marketing important?
Oh shit! This is all him right here.
Yeah. Honestly, it's adapting to the times, right? Because Moose and I have been in this industry in real estate for so long. I remember fax machines. Press hard, lots of copies.
Right.
That's a pun that Tom Ferry used to say. He's a real estate coach. But in marketing, it was the telephone book. Then it was, if you're in real estate, there was this little thing, you go to restaurants and you see all the top producers if they had money to spend.
Yep.
But that's really how you got known, other than going door to door and sending out mailers.
Right.
Fast forward to today, you have AI and Google and web search, right?
Right.
And then you have social media. So I think the biggest thing with marketing, why it's so important, is you can work for the biggest corporation in the world, but if you're in sales, you have to have your own independent identity and brand. And establishing that is a commitment.
Yeah.
And it's just evolved. And now, just to keep it short, with the influence of Amazon, it's all based on reviews, right? Like, it's totally changed and augmented the consumer's thought process of investing or buying anything.
Right. Third-party endorsements.
Social proof and trust.
Yeah.
So it's a commitment to stay on top of that. But that's where when I hear marketing, like, it's all about my brand, all about my reputation.
I would say, Keith is really good. His online presence is, super strong. And I would say that a lot of people, including myself, sometimes, where a lot of people struggle with is consistency. Right?
Agreed.
And
Guilty.
yeah, and the consistency part is where it's like compound, right? And sometimes we forget the importance of compound, and like, even today, right? I've been building my business, and I'd be a fool to let it go.
Right.
But I even noticed myself at some point, like, I've slowed down on my marketing, because you can become a super successful real estate agent right now if you're great with long form, short form. They'll with internet, and you don't even have to be that skilled anymore.
Right.
If you're that good with social media and
Tools
marketing,
available. Right.
people will find you and they'll use you because they've seen you so often, so much, that you're already trusted. And that's harder for people who've been around in the business for a long time, to always have to pivot and to reinvent. And I noticed that with more veteran agents who are not wanting to reinvent.
It's not just veteran agents; it's all businesses in general.
Yeah, and for people who are in sales, like myself, versus mortgages, because people in mortgages are typically a lot more analytical. Okay, people who are on my side are typically more either drivers or more people who like to talk and socialize, and
Right. The creative types. Almost.
Yeah. And so we're more likely to be squirrels, and what's the next thing, and just jumping around all the time. And to be very successful, it's really, especially in sales, you got to master how to be boring. You got to master how to do the same thing over and over and over. And, from a couple people who grew up with nothing, I learned from somebody, I like to call myself a blue collar millionaire, because I'm just doing the same old thing over and over for so many years,
Right.
Versus a white collar, because, I'm just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it earlier, and I want to ask both of you, with kind of putting yourself out there, being intentional on, like, your social media presence, and then you mentioned AI. How do each of you use AI in your business now? Because I think, especially to the audience of our mortgage brokers or real estate agents or anyone in that industry, AI can be a powerful tool. Or, like you said, some people have all this information and you have it but don't execute on it. Tell me how you guys, to our audience, use AI.
Well, I got a quick answer, because I am a lot slower at using AI and converting and using it to right now. I'm still pivoting and learning and getting a lot of help. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. And part of it's mindset, and part of it's being consistent on just doing the basics, know. But the basic of prospecting, my old school way, versus the basic of prospecting using, chat,
way.
yeah. So in video now, I'm still lagging a little bit. So Keith is probably a lot better than I am to answer that question.
I think I'll give a plug. If you haven't started using it to become an early adopter, is promptcowboy.ai. If you've heard of it and used it, basically when you think of a prompt, you're asking or trying to give AI a scenario, and Prompt Cowboy, when you put it in, it puts it on steroids. And I think the easiest reference is if your prompt that you're putting into AI or the question is elementary, Prompt Cowboy puts it on a PhD level to be understandable by AI.
Oh wow.
And it just if you ever try it, it's amazing the result that you have, and then what you get from AI is extremely different. But I think when it comes to the strategy of AI, it's easy as understanding your future clientele, right? Like the demographic. Most don't think people have adopted the AI yet. My wife is not tech driven.
Yep.
She uses ChatGPT more than I do on a daily basis.
Right.
Because when she starts typing something into Google, she may not know how to spell it or exactly what it is, and then she just waits for the search to kind of
guide itself.
self-correct,
autocomplete.
and then it kind of figures out,
Yeah.
I want this.
Right.
If not, let me keep going down the rabbit hole. And
Right.
Yeah.
And then she would just look at all the links and she'd try to figure it out. But now with AI, it'll self-complete and give her the summary, and she's hooked, right? So I think from the AI strategy is you can no longer assume your future client is not there.
Right.
They're already on there in some way using it. And now it's the question of for your business to evolve, how are you going to keep being relevant? And that's the game.
So what have you done in your business to implement AI to help with your marketing then?
Oh man, it's a great question. It's so I have to give you a bit of background, really short.
Yeah.
So I started mortgage in 2000, and in 2007 I tried to, with two other partners, launch a startup company, and it was all based on reputation. And they asked to go all in, and I had to walk away from mortgage, and my family was young. I couldn't do it. So that vision and passion project died.
Right.
But I always stayed on like a blog on WordPress. That was like, now you hear that and you're like, gosh, you're old.
Yeah.
And then,
I know that. Yeah.
and then Yelp came along, started reviews, went to Google reviews. And then that was a space that I really found passionate about. And then it just became the norm.
Yeah.
But fast forward, when AI got involved, it changed everything because it connected everything. So the directories, if you haven't heard of that before, there's directories like, oh God, I should remember the name. It'll come back to me. But there's all these directories you can be like, kind of like yellowpages.com.
Yeah.
Those became irrelevant, and today they're
Very
now
relevant.
the foundation.
Yes.
And then you can syndicate your reviews to these directories. And then, most don't know, and this is just a great tip, is that if you have a Google business page, ChatGPT cannot see your reviews because Google holds that proprietary to themselves. So in order for your Google business reviews to show up, you have to have directories that show your Google business reviews. Then all of a sudden you're discovered by AI, right? It's those little things, trying to figure that out has been a journey, but once you get on it, it's fun. So when Moose was saying all the different things and different tools, I have ADD, probably not as much as I love this guy. He has worse than me, but it was always a new shiny object,
Right.
and that was probably for me, out of 26 years in mortgage, 24 and a half years. But to train myself to stick to one thing and stay in my lane has been a game changer. And I honestly didn't really discover that until early part of last year. And it's been just way different now.
Well, I would say technology's always been kind of your wheelhouse, right? You've always loved it, and then combining it with to getting leads and so forth for mortgages. But technology's always been your wheelhouse, and like just like you would probably say, me and working my database and loving on clients and doing events is probably my wheelhouse. Because the way I generate business is different than the way you would generate business. But I mean, ever since I've known Keith, has always been into technology. But really, I would say when it came down to when really starting Google businesses and so forth, I mean, he just loved it, and it was a big thing for a long time until the last couple of years now.
Yeah.
Right. Google business is not as big anymore.
Well, Google changed their structure of how important it is to maximize a profile back in June of last year. And then July came and no one doing it yet. And all of a sudden, like, we get a call from a client be like, yo,
I'm gone.
What's going on? My calls dropped by 50. It wasn't from Google Ads. It wasn't from SEO. It was literally because they weren't maximizing their profile. So they literally dropped overnight. And then once we start helping them out and getting them back up there, then the call volume started to increase. So I know that Google Map profile makes a huge difference in local SEO for businesses, and most businesses still today don't take advantage of it, and they don't optimize and they don't post like they need to on a weekly basis.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're right. I mean, like I work out of one of my properties, and I use my address of that property
To claim
my Google, But instead of, a lot of times people don't want, because that's its own personal house.
Yeah.
Right. And also, when you work for John O. Scott, you want to use the office address. But if you're not in that area that you want to be, like, the neighborhood specialist, then it's going to be hard to get the Google placement. Right. And that's for me, it was always been a big deal. But I mean, lately he's been helping me make. Now we're using keywords, let alone key phrases that we're guiding our for the testimonials, and just so we can get phrases.
When you do that, you need to coach your clients on having them put keywords in their review to you, and then you reply with those same keywords.
Well,
it's huge.
And that helps you with your.
We're just doing the interviews,
Yeah.
so we're just interviewing our clients, and then we'll type it out ourselves and just have them approved. So then they'll just copy and paste and put onto the stuff to streamline, because everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but then we can help with the keywords, the key phrases, and all that.
But that is a key point, though, is the review having keywords and location. Thank you for helping me buy my single family first home in Bonnie Lake.
There you go.
In a great school district, blah, blah, blah. Moose, we're great. And then on the reply, I'm so glad we were able to help you move into your first home in Bonnie Lake. In a great school, in the whatever you call it, school district or something, in the review reply.
Yeah.
Because then what Google sees is where your reviews are coming from. It's almost a hidden, here's a map pin of where you service your customers. So if your book of business is Beacon Hill, all around Beacon, like, oh, there's reviews here, Google thinks you're more relevant in this area where people talk about you. So
Yeah. Even you can take it to the next level with Google Maps. If you, like, for us in real estate and mortgage, if I took all my clients' addresses and just took the address alone, and I upload that to Google Maps, it'll then register a PIN on all those. You can now take it one step further and attach Google reviews to all those pins. So it's just one of those things to help AI and web search find you more.
Correct.
Right? So it's all now about being found. And then, like Moose said, it's the keywords. And greatest example, I just heard this. You can't say you're number one in real estate anymore.
Correct.
People don't use AI and they don't search for number one real estate agent. They're looking for, I want a 2,400 square foot house on Beacon Hill, North Beacon Hill, on a corner lot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and then what comes up, right?
Yeah,
That's
the ask is really specific, not so broad now.
It's amazing. And I don't know when that shift happened, but it's already in place. So they don't go on and look for a number one real estate agent.
I think it started with more people talking to their phones than typing.
Correct.
Because when you type, you're thinking, what's the least amount of words I could look for a home in Beacon Hill? So you do house for sale, Beacon Hill. When you're talking, you don't think that way. You process information. I want to live off Orcas and Beacon. Find me a single family home that's available, at least 4 bedrooms. And that's how they'll search.
Yeah.
As opposed to typing is different. Your brain thinks differently than talking, I think.
Right.
So that paradigm shift with this AI update, people are still searching. It's just how these search engines finding information to make you relevant. So we applaud you guys for, it. You can't get away from it. So at least you're incorporating it into your business strategy.
Before we go any further, this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast is brought to you by Warrior Injury Law, supporting small businesses that want to grow smarter.
Injured? Call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
I'm going to ask you, because I think the question's for all three of you guys, because you guys talked, the question was about marketing.
Yeah.
Right? And you guys own a marketing firm, and, pretty much at the end of the day, we're all marketers.
Right.
Correct.
That's what it comes down to. So,
Yeah.
what do you think the percentage of your business comes from? Online, like, and I want that same
Yep.
question for you guys. Where are you guys getting most of your business?
I know the answer for us right away.
What is that?
Word of mouth referrals.
Okay, and
This is going to sound odd, but as a marketing agency, we do not invest a lot into marketing. The reason why we don't is because we want our agency to be small and we want to work with the people we want to work with. So when we first started, it was we want to work with lots
Pound
of
the
people,
pavement,
right?
anything.
Pound the pavement, swing doors, right? Do those kinds of things. We came from the yellow page industry, so we're used to swinging the doors. Then as time evolved, then it was, all right, let's put some stuff out on social media. You talked about consistency. It's super hard to be consistent when you're on 6 different platforms, right? All at once, because now you're posting, you're creating content, you're thinking about it, you're posting it, you still got your day job, you still got to reach out to your clients, you still got to manage their marketing with them, alongside them. So we've built our company primarily on word of mouth referrals only. And we've been in business 14 years, and I can probably count on 2 hands how many times we've been fired.
and what are you guys doing to constantly get consistent referrals?
I mean, we're both in networking groups.
I guess it's almost within our existing clients.
Yep.
We've become like evergreen. A lot of our newer clients in the past 3 years have been referrals from those clients. So it's unique to be in a position where sometimes we don't want to be hired by any company.
Correct.
We're selective. I mean, there's been philosophical differences, and we're different because we're transparent. So like, it's not the norm. We'll tell you how it is. You'll know where each dollar is spent, how we do things. And some people aren't comfortable with that, or they don't like that style.
I'm Army veteran. My partner is a Marine Corps veteran. We're more upfront with businesses than they're used to. They're used to companies coming in trying to sugarcoat things to try to get their business. Where we're very blunt.
So if your
Sometimes
baby's ugly,
offensive.
we're going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. You got an ugly baby, you're going to know about it. But that's just how we've built our business. Now, I mean, for growth, we are advertising with Google Ads right now for websites for a couple different states. We're bringing on appointment setters to schedule appointments for our sales team. So we're growing that way because we've seen the shift. But still, as far as marketing goes and our clients, we have not we have invested in marketing for ourselves, but it's just the growth has been word of mouth, referrals, networking groups.
And then within that too, I don't want to talk about so much about ourselves.
No,
but,
I want to know.
Organic growth. So our existing clients, usually there's a consistent amount where they're dialing up their spend. So we're a proof of concept kind of business, data driven, results based. So if there's results, drives data. If X yields Y, 2X should yield 2Y, or 3X should yield 3Y, right? I mean, if it's a linear relationship with growth, and that's how we're able to grow.
Another quick example. So we're a premier partner with Google, so that just means we have access to Google Map support. So for Google Map support for any other business, they have to turn in a ticket, right? Wait for Google to reply. Sometimes they never reply, or they just give you, hey, go watch this and figure it out, right? That's how it is. So because we're a premier partner, we have a backdoor to Google. So like recently, one of our new sales guy down in Texas found this plumber. Plumber was having issues. He basically had 2 profiles. He got one verified. So we were able to get that verified for him. And then he needed the reviews. So we were able to work with Google to get 230 reviews transferred from the non-existent profile to the now verified profile.
Wow.
From that, I think he sent our guy 3 or 4 referrals.
So, and then real quick, most people don't know, like, that backdoor referral to Google is a real live person. So it's like a real person.
It's one
via
person that
email,
works with agencies.
But yes, it's a real person. So it's not just a ticket. If
That's
you
huge.
don't have that resource.
So if someone says like, hey, why can't I get it verified? Or hey, I was just suspended. Great, we collect some information we need. We pass it along. We ask the question, and then our person guides us through. Do this, this, and this. Then we do it, and then if he needs to escalate it, he'll escalate it. But 9 times out of 10, we're able to help a business.
Do you guys
with their profile.
have the same rep? Or is
Yes.
it
There's only one person
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
that works with
So,
all agencies.
Being a
Wow.
guest on our podcast, if there's any issues, you can contact directly.
That's cool.
The latest thing now is this video verification.
Right.
The
yeah.
thing now is take a video
I just went through it.
of yourself,
Yep.
show the business, show the street, show the name of the business, and you have to show away access. So if you have a key, a card
a desk.
that you open, because you have to show that you have access to it
Your
with your
branding.
name, and if not, it won't get verified.
has to be a sign that's fixated on a building, not a temporary sign.
Yeah, not a magnet sign or not.
can't
you print
Photoshop it in,
8.5 by
like-
11. It has to be a permanent sign. I had a financial advisor in Seattle. I mean, he didn't want to put his sign on the door because he had to pay like $800, but that's what you had to do. Permanent sign on the door. You had a prox card in the Columbia Tower.
Wow.
And we did it that way. Video got verified. There we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I always ask because I want to know because people who are getting business online, but how are they growing their business? Because I obviously I know how he gets most of his business, even though we've been in business a long time, and how I get mine is different. But do you guys do anything to love on your clients?
I mean, each of us will take care of our book of business each year. Like Christmas time, like I do usually like homemade cookies or prep. I'll do something personal, something handwritten, with like my top clients or anything.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we'll, like whatever, a signed gift or something like the bottles for one of our clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do that. For the podcast, we've had 100 episode, 200 episode landmark events.
Yeah.
We've thrown parties. So,
Yeah.
I'll get like lumpia and pancit catered.
Yeah.
I'll make drinks by the batch and we'll host people. So if we ever get to our 300, you guys will be on the list to come. Bring your wife, make another cocktail,
Appreciate it.
I'll even do I use mailbox power. So it's just, I consistently send out cards that I choose with certain messages in there to my group of people. And so I always get hey, thank you for sending me this card, because they don't get cards in the mail. When I get new clients, they get thank you cards. So that's how we love on our clients. What about you? Are you
It sounds
you
like
buy
you're
a
an
house, you
event
get a knife
guy.
set?
Like you show a lot to your clients, because for your clients, one client could yield like 4 clients, the right client, right?
Yeah, the perfect client for sure. And as you've been doing it longer, and like all of us, we all only have so much time.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And so, I just learned okay, how do I love my clients? How do I, it's always top of mind.
Yep.
Right. Before, they go somewhere else or,
Right.
They're investigating. And you work so hard to be that trusted advisor. And for a lot of salespeople, we're so busy trying to go everywhere else instead of going deeper with what we already have.
Right.
Right. Because you guys, if I heard you, you're like, okay, we'll increase their spend, they'll do more stuff. And that's helping them get more business. And I guess now myself, because how the market has been shifting is over, I'm spending more time telling my clients or asking my clients, letting them know that I need some help.
Yeah.
I'm literally just say, hey, I need help. The market's been changing.
Right.
Do you think you can help me? And doing a direct ask. And a lot of times, especially with people who've been doing it for a long time, our clients don't think we need help anymore.
Right.
They think we're too busy to help them, or we don't need their help. And that's
Just because they don't know, right?
well, that's our fault, because we're not telling them, we're not asking them.
Right.
We're just expecting it, and that's our own fault. And so that's why you got to keep loving on your clients. We would send out birthday cards for their birthdays or kids' birthdays, and give them a voucher for 2 free scoops of ice cream. For their birthday, right? And it's good for 90 days. Or I used to just leave it open, and then all of a sudden it's like, it'd just be crazy. So we do 90 or 90 or 6 months, whatever. We do a nail event. I always do it the Thursdays before Mother's Day. I rent out a nail shop, and we book it out,
dope.
and we send out invite. They can we'll invite the moms. I always do before Mother's Day, because I want I was raised with a single mom, so I want my moms to feel fresh. On Mother's Day. So, we cater food, we got drinks, and they get to bring a friend, and they get a free mani or a free. We used to do free mani and petties, but they used to be rushed, right? Because there's only so many chairs.
You only got a
window. And there's only a certain amount of places you can go to that will have enough chairs or have the bandwidth.
Right.
So, but anyways, we still do it now. They just get to pick one or the other, and they bring a friend. So we get to double our database. And then we give them a questionnaire, it's called the All About You form. So we want to know who their favorite cookies are, their pets' names, their birthdays. And so, and then now we have their friends' information, and we just want to keep loving on our people. We do a pie event every year. It's always the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, because normally people take Wednesday off. And then Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Big day,
So we do the Tuesday. It's kind of like a kickoff for the holidays. And we do, we run out of place in Seward Park, and we usually have, 200, 250, we have a good amount of, and we do a big spread of food, and when they leave, they get to take home a pie. They get to pick, from 3 pies that we offer, but it just gives me a chance to, see people and talk to them, and
Right. Another touch point. Right.
Yeah, it's.
Have you done the movie night?
We've done movie days
theater.
before, but the problem is you don't actually get to talk to them and get to know them.
Yeah.
They just get to sit there, and it's like, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do a bowling event versus a movie event
that's
than
cool.
everybody gets.
So you can kind of float and.
Yeah, I've done it, and then everything's getting to be more expensive.
Yeah.
So you get people to help contribute, but I'm just trying to spend more time, loving on my people, which is we used to send, when you're talking about VIPs and so forth, when we know that it's their birthday, my assistant used to give me, I have a VIP list, and then I know how to gift them and how much to spend, and then we would figure what to gift them, and then give me some options, and then we'll gift them on their birthdays. But everybody always got a birthday card and some kind of acknowledgement.
Right.
And then usually we talk to them, actually call them, twice a year.
A real phone call.
Yeah, a real phone call. And I think, because of COVID and, social media and so forth, I think, people are craving just a lot more one-on-one time or more, like conversations versus just non-conversations. And so, but I think where I was coaching, where sometimes a lot of us missed the boat, like I think I'm going to say even to you guys, because I didn't hear it from you guys, is how do we ask for more referrals while we're working with the client on the spot?
I know we both do it. We have regularly scheduled meeting with clients, going over marketing, going over what can be done, looking at their marketing should be looked at every single year because their goals change every single year. So what you did one year may not be effective the next year. So it's those constant conversations.
So how do you do it?
How do we do it?
Yeah.
Like a marketing conversation?
No, asking for referrals.
I just straight up ask them, like, hey, we've been working together now for a year. I noticed that it's good. Do you know any of this, and this that need help with their marketing?
Yes.
Like, for example, I just met with a client just called me. Normally we have their meeting, but they just got an offer to get purchased, right? A long time client. One of my first clients, 14 years being a client, and he just got bought. So his offer was 3 times his annual billing. So just shy of $2 million, just got financed this past week. He told me, talked to the company that bought us, and they were surprised. Even after COVID, most companies took a dip.
Yeah.
They're at a 12.5% increase year over year. I mean, literally for the past 14 years. Our high is like 20% growth.
Is this a pest control company?
Yes. And it was a company that would get mad at us too.
Business got so much margins, it's crazy.
Yeah. But because it's all labor, right?
Dude.
But 12.5, and he goes, well, and we had thought like, oh, he's never going to say anything nice about us because it was a somewhat tumultuous relationship.
Yeah.
Right. But he says, well, I told the guy, it's our marketing company that helped us grow. Like we stopped COVID, his pay-per-click budget, he would reduce. He had like a $5,000 budget. We cut it down and just do SEO, and he'd still get growth. Reviews was a lot of his big strategy. And now the company is like, well, we're going to probably take them on with these other companies we bought because it's unique to have a 12% year-over-year growth when you're reducing spend and your business is reducing from all these other companies. That's why they're trying to buy them. But you're still able to grow. Gave us full credit. So when we asked those referrals, the question you're asking, I said, well, who else do you know that you could point me to? Well, this company knows. Here's a referral partner that could be 20 other companies.
Yeah.
Right. Or like there's certain things we give, like there's a product we have, Valor Visitor View, like find out who's on your website, right? There's a free 30-day trial. It works for some companies. It hasn't. Company that didn't work for it ended up referring like 2 more companies that, all right, if it's not going to work for me, maybe it'll work for another company. Yeah. So we'll be out front with, here are the results. If it worked, this is what it is. Who do you know that this would be good for?
Yeah.
But it's sometimes you forget. A lot of times, I mean, you have to be intentional. I mean, I've been guilty of that too.
I mean, for real,
Yeah, because that kind of ask, you can't ask in an email. Well, you got to ask like face to face. I'm shaking. I'm looking in your eye.
Belly.
Like,
you got to be belly to belly.
Yeah, but on an email, so impersonal, because everything's like, I'm gonna, message me, Slack me, text me, and you're in the same room. But it's that interpersonal ask is where it's most effective.
Yeah, I mean, like I think my ask typically is I like to try to ask for. I always frame it if I do what what we talk about, will you do this?
Yeah.
This for that, right? And as long if I get there, and then I always try to ask every time when they say thank you, I ask, because they're already grateful.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hey, real quick, pause 1 sec. Let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors. All right, hold on. I'll do it. A Advanced Services. They deal with septic, drain fields, drain cleaning, electrical, and construction. Committed to providing outstanding customer experiences. They ensure top quality services customized to your needs. As a family-owned business, they take pride in delivering reliable and personalized septic solutions you can trust. That's straight from their website. Your trusted septic partner since 2006. Okay, carry on with the episode.
What's been the best in your 20 years? What's been the best way you've marketed your business?
well, I got a pretty interesting nickname, which is kind of catchy and sticky, so it kind of helps out. Moose Math, and a lot of people are like, "What the hell?" But it is my real last name, and Moose came from my real name is Mustafa, but it was always Mustafa. And then when the Lion King came out, it was Mufasa. So it's just interesting. But I don't know. I think what the business is easy, man. It's just keeping up with the business and taking care of people and loving on people, and it's easy when you always do the right thing. Just like what you guys talked about earlier.
So relationship marketing.
I'm all about, I don't spend a lot of money on online stuff and so forth. Over the years when I first started, I was spending most of my money on geographical marketing because I wanted to be the neighborhood specialist.
Yeah.
And it worked. And more importantly, but the reason why I did it was not just be the neighborhood specialist, was that I had young kids, and I always said the closer my dad was never in my life, so I always said the closer I worked at home, the more time I have my family.
Right.
And so on purpose, right?
You're intentional.
Yeah, I wanted to just have most of my business around my house, and most of my business still around my house, and most of my investments all around my house. I mean, between Mount Baker and Beacon Hill.
Just buying up the block around you.
And so, but the thing is, and now I'm 48, and I'm just learning how to simplify my life even more. And, because it's like, man, the grind is the grind, right? But how do we grind and still have fun and enjoy it? So.
Same for you.
Yeah.
Best marketing you've done.
I think for me, mortgage went through a colossal boom from 2020 during COVID. Feds drove the rates down to 2.5. At one point in time, we had 60% of the population of homeowners with a rate of 4% or less.
Yeah, that's insane.
So
what's that rate now?
it's actually 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's no longer that low rate. So there's been a lot of turnover that we don't really know because it hasn't been talked about.
Yep.
But it's no longer that population has that percentage of rates, right?
Right.
But so that was a huge boom, and then rates took off to 8 in 23, 24, and it was a huge learning lesson for the industry. It was humbling. You had so many mortgage companies disappear, but what it did for me is we've been on a 3-year drought in mortgage because rates haven't come down.
Right.
You don't have as many homeowners because of where the rates were at. And so my database, even though I still had maybe 15% of my production annually came from my database, it wasn't enough to sustain.
Yeah.
So
because it shrank technically.
Right.
With the qualified people, and
with
your database still the same size, but really the realistic part of it shrank a little bit. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it became very apparent that the demographic here in Seattle is in tech, right? It's your affluent tech millennials, and if you're in their conversation, it's great. Like one of my coaches in the past, he said, how do you include yourself in the conversation someone's already having about you? And to me, that one hit hard because I've always resonated with the tech millennials. They like education. They like the screen FaceTime. They don't have to be in person, but they value trust that comes from what someone else has said about you. That's like one of the key things that anchors them. So for me, it was always the push on Google Business, Yelp.
The third-party endorsement kind of stuff.
Right. So like Google Business, my brand is the mortgage reel. And the most keywords searched here in Seattle is Seattle mortgage broker. People here still think of brokers. If you go to the East Coast or mid-country, they think of lenders. So, but I show up in the top 3 consistently. And I knew that was a staple. But what shifted for me again was AI, because now it's about the conversation. It's not people aren't asking, like, this is the true fact that's happening because of Zillow and Google. So Google's stepping into real estate, right? They have a third party that they're partnering with, and now they're going to be the resource for real estate. That's their domination goal probably within the next 2 years. So, but up until now, it's been Zillow. And this is the best statement I just read, is that people will go to Google for confidence. People will go to Zillow for the value, meaning just the real estate value itself. But everything else, they're trying to find the confidence from Google. And Zillow is an internet directory in Google.
Yes.
So if Google dominates the white space on both sides and they can tell what you're searching for, you have to be on Google.
You have to play in that sandbox.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now Google Business is on steroids, just like you said, like where.
Because Google's now is trying to find customer intent. That's why they're wanting to learn your search history, because you've searched this so many times. We're going to guesstimate what you should be seeing. So if it's 2,400 square foot house, Orcas and Beacon, what have you searched in the past? We're going to serve up your search results based on what we think you want to see.
Right. It is phenomenal that I've been in WordPress since 2005. And, I honestly thought about going away from it several times, and I just stuck with it. And I just left it, right?
Yeah.
I had no
That's
idea.
it's the best content management system that Google likes. So
And now WordPress has become the saving grace. It's like the go-to. And all of a sudden you're starting to hear blog posts and you're hearing Q&A again. I'm like, wow, this is stuff that I was trying to promote in 2007 during the bust.
that's history kind of repeats itself.
What's funny is
now.
Google removed the Q&A section from profiles.
Yes.
So now you have to create the same Q&A optimized on a website
Yes.
for AI overview.
Yep. And I just experienced that because I was like, what happened? What happened to my Q&A? It's gone. And it took a lot of time.
It did. You invested a lot of time because you'd have to go there and ask a question, like it,
They just literally removed it 2 months ago and then put a press release about it.
I was super butthurt. It took a lot of time.
It's so funny to me. I'm just watching you guys. I can tell how much you guys are enjoying this conversation.
We geek out on this
because
kind of
I
stuff.
can tell how much you guys, like the three of you guys are like, it's like dialing. It's like your head. It's like a home run for you guys.
What I will say then, since we're talking about it, so our secret sauce for writing content stands apart from every other company that writes content, right? So our secret sauce, for those of you who are listening, if you want to learn how to write content for your website, first, we use Gemini to write an outline. So it's, hey, write me a outline for a septic company in list some cities, right? So then it's going to give you an outline of what to talk about. Then you're going to go to Google, and I'm going to do a search for septic in Tacoma. And then in the people also ask section, you're going to write content to answer those questions and add it to your website. And then you're going to add some cities in there along with
gives
the
you
mix.
the framework.
Correct. And then on every single page of your website, you're going to have a service area and you're going to list out those cities. So Google could see, hey, I do septic pumping. These are some of the services I do for septic pumping, addressing those questions in these cities. And then Google puts that together and helps you rank better. So we have clients that we built websites for that rank and have never invested outside of a website.
I'm nerding out with y'all, but
we don't usually talk marketing on our podcast.
It's gotten even more granular for real estate, or it's going to neighborhoods.
Yes.
So it's all right now. It's about bringing the early adopters, because it was historically I would say since 2010, about 20 to 25% of my business has been from Google reviews. Just people search on Google. I didn't have a true AI strategy until September of last year, and then it went tilt on steroids after that. And now, if you search for, I'm a first-time home buyer looking for a highly rated loan officer, or a strong loan officer in Seattle, or looking for strong strategies, I'm showing up in the top 3 in close to 47 different categories now. So
nice.
It took my business from 20 to 25%. If I just did my numbers in the last 90 days, it's at 85% of my business is coming from AI and web search. So,
and those people you're finding are highly qualified because
oh my gosh,
the ask is so specific. It's not so broad. It's not broad search anymore. It's not mortgage near me.
Yeah.
It's highly best broker in Skyway or whatever,
Yeah.
single family home Skyway, or first time home buyer, Amazon employee. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like really specific.
Tech income, bonus income, like it's all gotten super granular. And where it's been exciting is the fact that I've been making I feel like I've made a commitment to be on social media, but it blows to get like 4 or 5 views, like 100 views. Like when I used to get 100 views, I'm like, dude, I hit it. I went
You got a
viral.
home run. That's your viral moment.
That was my viral moment. But you don't see the results in clients. What if I could share with one nugget that I've really, really come to understand is how you present yourself online, even through blog posts. If the client finds you on AI and web, they've done research about you, they kind of know you, but when they show up, if that's not what the impression is that they got from AI, they're gone.
Yeah.
So you really have to be authentic in that space.
The branding consistency then?
Yeah, the consistency has to be the message you're delivering. So if, I take the standpoint that I'm an educator and I have local, market expertise. And that's just been my cup of tea. But I notice every time I try to waver from that, I don't have the same connection. So it's you really have to figure out what your branding and message is, and you have to stay consistent, because once you put that out there and AI finds it and web finds it, and then they come to you, if you don't deliver that, there's a disconnect. And it's amazing how fast they're either going to engage or they're like, I'm going to talk to you and talk to somebody else. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I never hear from again.
One thing I'll add is something that came up recently in an article is YouTube videos. So you have to, it's going to be a major focus as far as what Google's looking for in their algorithm. So you have to have a YouTube page. You have to start creating shorts and long form video, and then you need to link that activity back to your website.
Wow.
So like for you guys got your own stuff, you're recording your own stuff, that's great. Now it's what do I do with all of this content that I just created?
Right.
And I'm going to upload it. I'm going to go cut it into 20 different shorts. I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 long form video sections, and then if you have a YouTube channel, or if you don't, you're going to upload it to your YouTube channel. And then if you have a good website company, you're going to link your feed from your YouTube channel onto your website, so that way as you push new content, that new content is fed to your website.
When I hear that,
You just think how much work we got to do.
Moose and I are the...
Well, really, because when you get on your site, you want them to view the YouTube video while they're on your site, not leaving.
Yeah.
So when you have the plugin installed on your site, they're staying on your site. That way they can navigate to read your other blog or whatever. They see what got them there.
Right.
When you send them to the YouTube site, you've lost them. They may not ever come back.
Right.
They'll go down the rabbit hole of, oh, I want to watch this Taylor Swift video now, or whatever it is, right? But when you get them on your site, at least now you own that traffic.
Or even better yet, have you guys thought about doing your own podcast together?
No, we can. I have all the setup. I just, again, it goes back to the implementation.
Right.
Because literally, like, yes, we've been talking about it, but I'll be responsible. Okay? Take some accountability. Haven't really kicked it off.
Yeah.
So,
but you guys could bring on guests that are relevant to your market. So like, bring on the service companies, bring on the home inspector,
bring on
right?
a landscaper.
Right. Bring
Why
on all
curb
those people.
appeal, increase the value 20%? Talk to a landscaper. What are things not to spend? Water feature, or like new lawn, yes, or whatever it is, a kitchen remodeler person or a roofer.
Right.
Or anything.
Right. What adds value to the house and what doesn't add value to the house? What just makes it look nice versus increasing the value to help you sell your house?
So let me ask you guys a question then. So you guys are helping real estate people or mortgage people are not your typical it's not your wheelhouse, because I heard we talked earlier in
Yeah, we
regards
do
to
some real estate. Yeah.
So have you guys are you have some real estate people? How much success are you finding? With your support, and why not more real estate people, or just curious, growing your business?
I know why, and I mean I'll answer one. You can answer. So we have a real estate agent down in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah.
In 2024, so basically by June of 2025, he sold as much as he sold in 2024.
Okay.
He invests $2,000 a month, $1,000 on Google Ads, $1,000 on LSA.
Okay.
He drove in those 6 months, I think it generated 62 leads, and he has like a 50% closing ratio.
Wow.
Okay.
So he invested, $2,000. So by that time, he had invested what? I'm not a math person, but what, 12 grand
Yeah.
for potentially 30 sales? And the real estate market is less in Indiana. Their average price home is about $300,000. I don't know what the commission rate is for real estate agents, but now he's investing in buying land and building his own homes or duplexes on those and then selling those. So it's been allowed him to generate leads faster. And we're driving traffic to his website. We're not driving traffic to a Zillow website where there's
So
15 different agents.
Are you guys directing him to do like YouTube stuff now? Since you had just mentioned, is he doing any long form, short form?
I would say this, just for the local people here in our market, the way for them to brand and set themselves apart is on social media. So it's something how you create their content themselves. So it's easier, obviously more cost effective for them to do it on a phone in a way they feel comfortable. You know your own voice, because you're not going to be fake to everyone. People are going to know who you are. So like you said, if you change the script, they're like, this guy's trying to flip the script. I don't know this guy. You know, like when they see you.
Yeah.
So they know. So what we've coached people like, all right, we could build a website for you, but your best bang for the buck marketing wise is to get out there, work your network, and then tell your own story.
Got it.
Because if you're competing on Google Ads, and this market's so competitive, you're competing against the Zillows.
Yeah.
You got to spend $10,000 a month. What's the yield? You're not going to get that return just to show up. Right?
I would say, though, for even in this market, though, let's say you're spending $2,000 a month in LSA ads, and even if you're getting 10 leads a month from that, and you're closing 5 of those,
it's worth it.
It's 100% worth it. Now, the average business owner will be like, you're only going to give me 10 leads a month? Yeah, but if you're selling a home, and with the average prices where they're at now, even if you get 2 new clients a month, that's a great ROI, because let's say your commission's 30 grand on each of those, and now you're 60 grand, and you gave me 2 grand. How much more can I invest to generate more?
Yeah. I mean, I recognize it. A lot of people, they don't, because they're not. I was just talking to somebody today. People always talk about, you were talking about ROI, and he was talking about RONI. What was it? Reinvest is not, the end was not. It's what's really costing you not to invest.
Right.
In your business.
Right.
That's what it's. I don't know. I forgot the acronym, but it was RONI versus ROI. It costs you more not to invest in your business.
Right. The lost opportunity, potential lost opportunity, almost.
And so people forget that, right? And it's interesting, because for somebody who's local, you're not helping a lot of, so I'll be curious to talk to you guys more about it afterwards to see how it would look like for someone local.
And I would say too, if you're doing LSAs, I mean, you could do it yourself.
Yep.
I mean, LSAs.
100%.
So I mean, really, because with LSAs, you don't pick keywords, you pick services. So if you want, home for sale, a realtor, you don't. In Google Ads, you have to come up with like the words and everything, the keyword you want to go after. LSAs, no.
You toggle on basically the services you want to do based upon the category. You upload your picture for your headshot. You upload your business license, your business insurance, your real estate license. You connect your Google reviews to it. It verifies all of that, and then once that's approved, then it sends you to a company called Evident. You do a background check. You do a full background check. Once they said yes, you're good to go. You literally just plug in some 6 bullet points on your bio. You put in your service area. It's going to be city first, zip code second, county third. You're going to upload pictures. All of your pictures cannot have a phone number or a website or email link in it. You set your budget. It's a weekly budget. You set your weekly budget. Go. That's it. I mean, it's super. But the reason why clients hire us is because they don't want to do all that. And they don't have the time to figure out if Google changes something within the profiles, because now based upon the industry, you could go from a weekly budget to how much am I willing to spend per individual type of services. Like Google just added that a few months ago. But if they never log into their dashboard, they're never going to know that.
Yeah.
Right? So you could absolutely, you guys are savvy enough. And most of our audience, I'm guessing, is savvy enough. They can go set that up themselves. But they hire companies like us or other ones because of how long we've been doing it.
But you're still accountable, because Google measure this business usually replies in an hour, in minutes. The faster you reply, it will help you. So if you're neglectful of messaging back your leads,
so your message leads is now speed to lead, because they're going to the model like Angie, where a consumer can message 3 people at the same time from LSA.
Oh, wow.
And if you're not the first person to get back to them, you just paid whatever the cost per lead is, and for nothing.
For nothing.
So speed to lead.
Oh, wow.
For messaging.
Yeah.
Messaging only.
Yeah. it's amazing too, because if I'm tracking anyone that contacts me, the minute they set an appointment on my calendar, the highest conversion rate is if I reply to them in less than 10 minutes. Every minute after that, I start losing traction.
Oh,
Because they're thinking about you right then and
Yeah.
there.
It's
right
top of
then
mind
there.
awareness.
And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you replied. And even in the reply, what I really, this is through another, I can't remember who on YouTube it was, but they're like, you have to make yourself sound some way unique. So even if it's just saying, I was going to be with my dog or my family or
Right.
just something, because it's something that AI doesn't build in.
Yeah.
AI doesn't make it personable.
Correct.
So they're looking for something immediately. Is this a bot reply? And but it makes a difference,
Right.
Yeah.
because they pick up on that. So they know it's actually you sending a text message or typing the reply.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are on auto reply right now, and they're losing those leads because people feel that it's not the personality has to come through. That's the biggest shift that's happening.
Marketing matters. Growth matters more. This episode is powered by our sponsor, Fuse Networks.
Millions of cybercriminals are out there on a daily basis trying to steal your information. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Small businesses account for 58% of cyber attacks annually. So help your company fight cybercrime and mitigate risk by being proactive. Call Fuse Networks, your local Seattle IT experts at 206-701-6040 for a complimentary IT network and security assessment.
So, to close it out, for each of you, what's one last piece of advice that you would give just entrepreneurs in general?
For me, as an entrepreneur, you always have to keep looking for more leads, and you got to get to a point that if you lose a lead, and if you have enough leads, you won't be butthurt. The problem is entrepreneurs, they go in like roller coasters. I'm busy, then I stop generating, then I was going to slow down. I'm generating again,
Right.
And so I'm just saying you got to master being boring, and you got to master just working on lead generation, because that's the lifeline, right? Because it's easy to get butthurt.
Yeah.
Mr. Akada.
I have two. One's fast. You have to evolve to become a great storyteller, because if you can be relatable, that's for the connection that people are looking for. And the other thing that I'm super passionate about is stop asking for reviews. I always present it that I'm building my reputation as an online resume, and the client who is leaving me a review is like a reference on a resume, and I need them to help me get my next job, because I'm an independent contractor, even though I work for a company.
Right.
Until they can tell their story and that makes a connection with somebody else, that review is nothing if it's just, oh, great rates, great service.
Yeah.
I have to have them expand on it. So just like you were saying, if they're a first-time home buyer, whatever situation is, expand a little bit more on it and
Tell that story.
And if they understand that that's my connection, if what they say is going to help me in a reference form, get hired for my next job, who's my future client, they resonate with that more.
Yep.
Or if you're still asking for the review, that was like 10 years ago.
So real quick,
Yeah.
so you guys mentioned it, but for people to discover you guys, learn about you guys more, tell our audience how they could find you online.
So just putting it to a test, if you went to Google, just type in Seattle Mortgage Broker, and my brand, The Mortgage Real, would be there. If you go onto any AI platform, just say you're looking for a loan officer in Seattle, and I usually show up in the top 3.
Awesome.
Nice.
I guess if you just look me up and just put in Moose Math, you'd have to actually put in Moose Math Real Estate versus just Moose Math, because there's a math company in Alaska. It has Moose Math, and it's like a education.
That's the number one Google search for Moose Math.
For education in Alaska.
Yeah.
And so, you'll find me, right?
All right.
And I want to ask you guys real quick, because this has been such a great conversation, is, how can we support you guys, or what's the perfect client to send you guys?
Typically, we're looking for that small business. I guess our sweet spot has been most of our clients are in the $1 to $6 million range
Okay.
that offer a service that want to expand maybe more than they are. Probably 2/3 of our business are in the home service sector.
Okay.
And then probably 30% white collar, a lot of attorneys, dentists. It's kind of our wheelhouse,
Yep.
right?
Love to connect with the business owner who's been betrayed by another company.
Okay.
Because most of those people have been lied to, and we just tell the truth when it comes to their marketing.
Got it. And if I were to pitch you, what should I say they should expect to spend? Just give rough amount, because people are like, man, I gotta go spend money. It's
Give
like,
us an industry, because it varies.
it varies.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's too broad of a question. So don't worry about it. I even need to. The thing is like,
Well, I would say this. Our kind of tagline is data-driven, results-based. We're going to have if X yields Y, 2X should yield 2Y. So we're going to figure what that playbook looks like. And it's different for each industry.
Of course.
From an
1000%.
attorney to a pest control to a septic company to someone building homes.
And the market makes a difference. I have a plumber in Kitsap that spends like $1,500 a month in Google Ads and gets 30 to 40 leads a month. I have a plumber in Pierce County that's spending $20,000 a month and can only get that. Right? So markets make a difference, industry makes a difference, but it's all based upon conversations and setting up realistic expectations.
Okay. And I got one last question.
Yeah.
Are there any type of businesses or people you guys are trying to partner with to help grow each other?
I mean, I'm in B&I, so I love finding accountants, bookkeepers in different areas. I like finding graphic designers. I like the video photography guys.
I would say even for one we're looking always for is like an email marketer. An
Yeah.
effective one is something we don't have in our wheelhouse, or the right social media people. Like they're good at that lane, because we found out if you stick in your lane and do well, don't try to do it all. We've tried to do it all sometimes.
Like we do social media, but on a more, I would say, like basic level. If you need something that's more interactive with more reels,
We're
and
not
stuff
that company.
We're not that
Yeah.
fit, right? So a good social media company.
Good.
But thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Most of our guests do not ask that, so we really appreciate it.
Hey man, all I know is opportunities lie in people.
Yeah.
Right. And I got to keep asking, because I'm spending more time asking myself every time when I ask myself how. Right? How? Because we're always figuring out how to do things. I'm trying to ask myself who.
Yeah.
Who do I need to connect with? Who can do this for me? Who can do that for me?
Right.
But you don't.
Well, if the want to is there, the how to will come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, well, on behalf of our sponsors, A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law, my name's Galen.
Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Thanks to you guys for joining us in studio.
Thank you.
Enjoying a cocktail.
Yes.
And thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast. Thanks, guys.